This is not a cash business, okay? The amount of cash that we're receiving is minuscule. It is not worth the risk. Run an honest business.
Originating from deep inside the Rocky Mountains, transported through the power of the internet, and arriving inside your tiny earbuds. It's the Appraiser Coach Podcast.
Minisode.
Welcome back. Welcome, every one of you. Dustin Harris hanging out in the podcast here. Another mini-sode for you today as we get into tax season. I want to pause here and remind you that we are sponsored by Anow Software. Speaking of tax season and the ability to keep track of all of your finances in one place, Anow does that too. Anow.com, ANOW.com. Quick mini-sode for you today as we get into tax season. And by tax season, I mean, anywhere from January to April 15th, I call tax season. This is the time that we're putting together our receipts. We're talking to our accountants. We're getting everything prepared. We're getting everything reported and getting everything done for the previous year as far as taxes go. By the way, I could do a whole long episode, really a course, if you will, on how to keep track of your taxes and save for taxes and report your taxes and everything else. But I just want to concentrate today on one aspect. And it's not a popular aspect. It's not something that we see a lot of. Back in the day, back before the HVCC, we did a lot of CODs. We did a lot of collecting at the doors, right? And sometimes those collections would come in the way of cash. Now, I still get some CODs, not typically for lender work, but for non-lender work. We insist in our office that we are always paid in full for the appraisal before it is delivered, which means 9 times out of 10, we simply collect at the door. We collect while we're doing the inspection. Now, if we're doing a desktop or a drive-by or something like that, and yes, we do desktops and drive-bys even for private work, but we will find another way to collect, whether it be credit card or check in the mail or something like that. But on occasion, and I would say it only happens a couple of times a year. It is not very much anymore. I will sometimes get paid with cash. Now, let's just be honest, okay? Because it goes through all of our heads, right? Cash. No record, no trace, no receipt. It's cash. What do we do now? I want to share with you what I do when we get back from the break, but want to pause here first and remind you that we are sponsored by a great company called Anow Software. Anow, of course, is the software that I use in my office, and hundreds, if not thousands of appraisers are using across the globe to keep track of their appraisal work, to keep track of their appraisal business. Folks, this is a one-stop shop in the cloud, by the way. You can be in Costa Rica on a beach, sipping a Mai Tai, and you can check what's going on in the office with Anow Software. Anow.com is where it's at. Oh, by the way, I would not recommend that you drink a Mai Tai and check on your business at the same time, though you could. ANOW.com. Welcome back to the program, everybody. Do you know I've never had a Mai Tai? I have no idea what that even is. I really don't. I know that paints a picture for you. But nonetheless, I hear it said that people sip Mai Tais on the beach. And anyway, I want to talk today about cash. And I want to talk today, let's just be blunt. Okay, I'm just going to lay it out there on the line. There is a temptation when you receive cash at the door for payment that, hey, I don't really have to report this, therefore I don't have to pay taxes on it. I've had the thought. I'm sure you've had the thought. Folks, don't do it. Don't do it. Here's why. It's just stupid. Let's face it, right? This is not a cash business, okay? The amount of cash that we're receiving is minuscule. It is not worth the risk. Run an honest business, okay? Now, I know some of you are going to say, honest business, Dustin, you have any idea how much I pay Uncle Sam? That's ridiculous. I can at least keep the cash that I receive, which is only a couple times. Folks, it's not worth it, right? Listen, I get as frustrated as anybody else out there with the amount of... we had a record-breaking 2020, and my tax bill come April 15th is staggering. Now, I have it, because I put it away up front. That's one of the first things I take out when I get paid. I have it, but I don't want to pay it. I can think of a whole lot of other things I'd rather do with that money. But folks, holding back and not being completely transparent in your cash receipts just is not worth it. It's just stupid, right? For no other reason, just do it because you can sleep well at night. And by the way, here's what I do in my office. When I get a cash payment, believe it or not, I take a picture. I fan it out on the table. I take a picture of it, and I put that snapshot in Anow Software in my work file to show that that's how the payment, and you can even see the serial numbers on there. Not that anybody keeps track, but folks, I don't want there to be any question whatsoever about my honesty when it comes to taxes. Folks, thank you for joining me. Man, it's such a blessing. I can't believe we're here all of a sudden. Now we're into 2021. right? And we just keep rolling forward. Thank you for being there. Thanks for listening. Tell your friends. We'll see you next time.
You've been listening to the Appraiser Coach podcast with Dustin Harris. If you like what you hear, please give us a 5-star rating and post a short review on iTunes. For more in-depth insider information on how you can make more money as a real estate appraiser, visit theappraisercoach.com and sign up for the All-Star team today. Thanks for joining us. And now, get out there and create some value.